Hey everybody, welcome to the video. We're still working on this 2004 Subaru Outback, and today we are working on the shifter lever itself. So this is only going to apply to the manual versions. Finally got my transmission back from the mechanic, all nice and rebuilt, and apparently painted for free too. So I've got some previous videos on all the stuff going on with the Subaru. Minimum you're going to need to get to doing this shifter lever is going to be the exhaust, heat shield, and drive shaft to get up into the bottom of the car to get at the clips that hold the shift lever in place. So let's go take a look at those. Going up under the car. And so it's going to look a little different than yours probably, because you probably don't have your transmission out. So here is our shift lever mechanisms. This right here is our main pivot stabilizer, referred to as the stay bar. It's what keeps the shifter to stay. On the back side of it, it's got this guy up in there, two 12mm bolts. You can take this out at any point. I suggest doing it last just because it's easier once everything else is unhooked. So in my previous video, I showed you that the stay bar goes into the back of the transmission with a 12mm through bolt. So you're going to need to take that 12mm through bolt out. And then your shift connection here, you don't actually need to remove that to do this, unless you're replacing this whole bar, which I don't know why you would be. Right now what I'm doing is installing a short shifter lever and replacing all the bushings and connections on this. So this is another through bolt. I believe it's another 12mm with a nut. It's kind of hard to get it out. Once I got the nut off, I was able to tap it through. Head came out, stick my 12mm wrench up under it and leverage it off. Have to shake it, leverage, because it's pretty tight fit. So that'll get this guy disconnected at the front, this guy disconnected at the front if you're doing that, but you shouldn't need to. And then back here, you only do these two 12mm bolts holding in your back bushing. That'll give a lot of flex to this. That is only if you're removing this entire boot assembly. If you're replacing it for any reason, I just did that because I am replacing the bushing on this guy too. It's going to be a whole new assembly. And then I'm also going to be replacing the bushing inside the other side of the stay bar here. So on the bottom here, you'll see a little white cup looking thing. That guy right there. So what yours is going to look like before you do this is it's going to be sticking out more. And there's going to be a C-clip right around the bottom of it. I suggest this be the time you invest in a C-clip tool. Makes a world of difference of getting these off. Stuck it in, pulled it open a little bit, put a flathead screwdriver under it, popped it free. Took all of about 5 seconds. It's off and done. No need to deal with trying to grab it with pliers or anything like that. Simple, easy, $27 tool at AutoZone. So then that releases this guy. So it's free to slide up and down. And then that's pretty much all you're doing down here. And again, this is after you've already removed the exhaust, at least in this section, the heat shield that goes here, so you can get access behind here. You don't have to, but it'll make it a lot easier. And then you don't have to take out the drive shaft, but again, it'll make it much easier. And you'll probably be going up around the back of the transmission, because I believe the transmission sits about here. So you'll be working some of this around the transmission in here. So once that's done, we'll come back out. We'll go inside the car. And prior to what I did, let me reset this. Yours will probably look something like that. Okay, so all you're going to do is this cover here. Sorry, this is a little dark. Apologize, I don't have better lighting in here. Battery's unhooked right now. This cover here is a pop cover. There are no screws behind it. It should have a pop there. It's broken, and a pop there. And those go into the little holes behind this, there, and there. That's where that one broke off in. And then what you'll do is you'll take it, you'll pick up at the back, it'll pop up, and then you'll pull it down and out. And that'll release the pops on the bottom, which are just those metal clips. So mine already came off, but what you'll need to do is take this and just unthread the handle. It should spin free of the boot, so you don't have to spin the whole thing around. And then once that's done, it'll come right off. And then you'll see this guy, but you'll still have your ashtray down there. Ashtray still in there. It's just 2 screws through the outer cover piece. So take those 2 screws out. Your little cubby ashtray thing will come out. And then you'll either see 1 or 2 of these up on the top. Mine actually had staples through it, which did not want to come out. So mine's a bit torn up now. So I had to peel back across the staples. These guys should unthread. If you look at them, they're just a little clip onto a threaded rod. So because of the design they are, you can either just stick something under them and pull them up and they'll slide because it's just a clip instead of an actual threaded member, or you can try and unthread it, which will go pretty slow. Got to at least get the front one out, set that aside. Mine didn't have a second one here. If yours does, do the same thing, and then you should be able to pull the boot free, slide this part up past that part of the knob, and the boot should just peel back, up and over. Careful not to tear it. I did not actually tear mine, but I found a tear in it. The boot is meant to isolate and insulate from the outside in the transmission, so you really don't want to put holes in this. Basically, your weather seal the outside down this way. So there's your lever, and with everything done on the bottom end, you'll basically be able to pick it up, play with it, and we're still attached to that shift bar, not the stay bar, but the shift bar. So you got a 12mm nut, 12mm bolt, put a 12mm wrench there, another 12mm wrench, loosen it, take that out, and then this whole assembly should come out. So I'm going to do that right now. So I got it out. That bolt came out pretty easily, and it's actually, because it's on a bearing and bushing and it's greased, as it should be, you don't need to remove that whole lower boot assembly. Unless you got tears or damage to it and you're replacing it. To do that is going to be a bit more work because you got to take off the entire console cover, take off this cover piece, because that lower boot is bolted in from the inside. So there's going to be a bolt there, 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 and there holding it in, and you can see the bottom of the threads from the bottom of the engine. And so that gets this guy out, and there is your bushing if you're replacing that. And there is your attachment cup and your pivot ball. So what I'm doing, just to wrap this down, I'm actually replacing the shift lever itself with a short shifter. So I got this guy. It's a generic from eBay. It actually has hardware already in it. And if we look at them side by side, you'll see that the shift point is up higher, which will make the shift distance between gears shorter. So actually going from like first to second, it's a shorter difference, and from third to fourth, or fourth to fifth, or whatever you're doing, all over the place. It's shorter distance between the gears because of where you're changing the pivot point. And so on top of that, I also got all this new stuff from Subaru to replace all this. There's my cup for the bottom. There's the bottom ball, which I don't know what I actually need with this style. And all my little clips and gaskets, slide pin, not a slide pin, but a wedge pin or whatever those are called, that locks it in, and some tie wire, because that boot was supposed to be tied to the shifter, actually. There's a Subaru part for this little thing of wire where you basically wrap it around the shifter at the boot seal, and it's supposed to keep it fixed to it. So here's all my other little stuff on the side for this, but that's what we're doing. I suggest doing this repair as a, if you're not even replacing this, but replacing the bushing inside of here, if you've got too much play in the shifter, as well as the pivot ball down here, and the cup, and that bushing at the back of the stay bar that I was talking about, and in the stay bar, those are where you get a lot of slop from your shifter if it's got a lot of free play, even in gear. As well, I'm replacing the not double wishbone, but the universal joint connection between the shift bar and the transmission. It's got like a wobble bit. It's got the two pieces that clip together, or like a drive shaft. It's got two bushings in it. I'm just replacing that whole mechanism for a new part and new bushings. So my entire shifter assembly is basically brand new. And that's about it for this video. Sorry it got a little long, but I feel like it got everything wrapped down and out. I do suggest wearing safety glasses under the car. Always going to get a lot of dirt and stuff down there. Let me know if you guys want any other videos, especially pertaining to this car, because I'm making a whole series of doing this transmission rebuild, and there's my clutch sitting right there to put in, and boxes of brand new exhaust. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think, and tune in next time.